Scott, first of all, welcome to Copenhagen and welcome to FC Copenhagen. We're in Portugal now. It's nice here. Are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's great to be here. I think also the fact we're in Portugal after just joining was a great chance for me to get to know this group of lads quite quickly, and obviously training in the warm weather certainly helps.
How does it work when you come to a club just like one day before the training camp? Are you in a room with someone, or are you alone in the room? Or
I was alone in the room the first day. Then obviously Magnus signed the day after, so I'm in with him just now. But there's 6 of us in the house. So as I mentioned before, it's just a great way to integrate with the team and get to know them a lot better.
So 2 new guys in the room, and you can talk to each other about all the crazy stuff you see in here.
Well, that's a good thing about Copenhagen. Everyone speaks perfect English, so it's not been too difficult to adapt.
Perfect. Scott, why are you coming to Copenhagen now?
Obviously I wasn't playing much football at Nottingham Forest, and the opportunity came around to come to Copenhagen on loan, and I think it's important for me at this stage of my career to be playing as many matches as possible, and obviously how well this team's done so far. I want to try and win a league title, and obviously being in the Champions League was a massive attraction as well.
You've been with Forest for 3 years. You've played 94 matches. You've done well with them. You moved to the Premier League from the Premiership. It looks as if you're doing well. Why didn't you play?
I think it was just down to we never got a contract sorted, and obviously I was out of contract at the end of the season. It's coming, and they wanted to play someone that's going to be there longer term, which is completely understandable. Obviously it was a disappointing way for it to come to an end. But I think it's important for me looking back that I remember all the positives that we had going in. We were near the bottom of the Championship, and obviously we had a great second season, and we got promoted to the Premier League.
And how much did you know about FC Copenhagen before this transfer?
I'd watched a few of the Champions League games. That was about it, to be honest. But once I spoke to the manager, he sold the club to me, his ambitions, the club's ambitions, and the style of play. I was desperate to get here. You've
played 33 matches for the national Scottish team, and there's a Euro 24 coming up. I guess wanting to play football also has to do with wanting to be a part of that Euro squad for Scotland.
Yeah, of course. I was lucky enough to be part of the last squad that went to the Euros, and we had a great time, albeit maybe didn't get as many points as we would have liked, and I'm desperate to be part of it this time around as well. So hopefully I can come here, play games, do well for Copenhagen, and we'll see what happens.
And as you mentioned, you're coming to Copenhagen right now. You are less than a week away from the first of 2 great round of 16 matches in the Champions League. That must also be quite, as you said, attractive.
Yeah, of course. Playing in the Champions League isn't something that every player gets to experience in their career. So hopefully if I can do well and the next week or so and can get in the manager's plans to play in one of the games or both the games, then it'll be an honour for me, really, to be honest. Because as I said, it's just not something that comes around all the time, and players don't get to experience that.
No, even players from great clubs in great leagues don't get to play a Champions League. And I guess you never played Champions League before?
No, I've never played Champions League before. I think it's even more special that it's the round of 16. The boys done incredible to get out of a very difficult group. Obviously Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Galatasaray. It's a very difficult group to get out of, and the boys have done excellent so far.
I spoke to my team about talking to you today, and they were wondering about the differences between the British Islands. You've never been away from the British Islands playing football, and the main Europe. What do you think also about coming to Denmark?
Yeah, I think from what I've seen so far, it's a very technical league. Well, I can only speak for the lads I've trained with, to be honest. Very technical, very good going forward. I don't think this will be a team that struggles to score goals. I think we just need to try and keep them out at the other end, so we can try and win more games and win them more comfortably.
And did you have time to think about the difference in level between Premier League and the Danish Superliga?
No, not really. I think Obviously the Premier League is one of the most watched leagues in the world. Every game's a massive event. But having seen the videos of our home support, I'm sure they follow us to away games in numbers as well. Yeah, that was all part of the reasons for coming. I think in Copenhagen, football's very, very big, and it's probably the top of everyone's priority list in terms of when they look at the week. It's probably looking to see when are Copenhagen playing, who they're playing, and then everyone can't wait for that day.
And you're here now on loan for 5 months, and what people also want to know is, can you see yourself staying here after 5 months?
Yeah, well, it's a difficult one. As you mentioned before, I've never been away from Scotland and England, so I think a loan option just now is perfect to see if the club want me, how I settle in terms of if I'm playing well enough, if I get used to being away from my family, all them sort of things. So I think short term a loan works perfectly, and then as time goes on, we'll see what happens for the coming years.
I can recommend Copenhagen for your family.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing everyone said.
How would you characterize yourself as a football player?
First and foremost, I think I like to defend, try and be solid, but obviously you want to try and then help the team going forward and being good on the ball and getting our influential players involved. So yeah, first and foremost I like to defend. I like to try and keep clean sheets. Obviously not me personally, but as a team I like to try and keep clean sheets, and then just be there to let the forward players go and express themselves.
When people saw the photos of you coming, the presentation photos, they saw quite a big guy. That was what people wrote about in social media. That's a big guy. I noticed that you're born late in the year, and that's right.
Yeah, November.
Yeah. So when, as a kid, you must have. Were you a big guy as well, or were you small in the young years?
No, I was probably one of the smaller ones coming through the youth age groups until maybe 17, 18, and then that's when I started to probably be the same maturity as the rest of the lads. Obviously that happens when you are younger. 6 months can make a massive difference. If someone's born in March or November, it can make a big difference. So that was just something I was used to, and then I developed probably 17, 18 to catch up with the rest of them.
And what kind of a centre back would you say you are?
I like to try and be aggressive when my battle's in there, with my tackles. But then, as I mentioned before, if I get the chance, the manager's definitely demanding of me to try and put my foot on the ball and play out from the back.
And I guess you came here to play football. So did you talk about whether you're jumping right into the team? They have some injuries now and stuff like that.
No, I would never expect to jump straight into a team without earning it. Obviously there's a lot of very, very good players here, and I think that's the sign of a good team. You need to have competition all over the pitch, and that's probably what gets the best out of the team and the best out of each other.
I was talking about whether you knew about FC Copenhagen or not, and I noticed somewhere it said that as a boy you were a Celtic fan. And I remember a match 2-3 years ago in Glasgow where we beat Celtic. Crazy match. Did you see that match? I can't
remember much about that, to be honest. No, I don't. I can't really recall that match, to be honest.
Okay. And if I can just ask you a private question. You mentioned family. Are you married?
No, I've got a girlfriend that will probably come over at some point. But in terms of when I said family, I mean my mum and dad have always been like close. They're down most weekends. It might be more difficult being in Copenhagen to see them as much. But I'm sure they'll try and get over as much as you can to watch games and enjoy the city.
They should. It was a wonderful city. Once again, Scott, big welcome to Copenhagen and FC Copenhagen. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Programmet præsenteres i samarbejde med Pro Treatment. Fysioterapi, diagnostisering, behandling og træning.
Hej. Ved du, hvem der havde de højeste odds på FCK i sidste måned? Det var igen Unibet.